Hello. Let me know if you can hear me. Welcome to the live stream. We are at Epic Universe right now. I have two questions for you early arrivers. One is if my sound is okay, and one is I think it's making me film vertically. Is it vertical for you guys, and is that all right? I don't honestly know how to flip it. I also am not sure if I can see your comments. Welcome to the Epic Universe. I will flip the camera and give you a view of this gorgeous fountain. Oh, welcome, Ryan. Hi. Guys, can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? If I flip it this way, oh wait. I don't think it's gonna let me flip sideways. I don't know what to do. I thought I set it up horizontally, but I think we're gonna do a vertical stream today. It's probably gonna look better from your phone. I will flip the camera though so you guys can see. This is the hotel, the Helios. This is where I was staying, and right here, these gorgeous fountains. This is where we had kind of our big celebration event at the end of last night. They had fireworks. They had a little drone show at the end. The fountains, it was kind of like the Bellagio in Vegas, where it streamed different colors, different heights, all sorts of like water choreography, and it was pretty amazing. I'll give you guys a view. One of the highlights, one of the coolest things in the middle of the celestial area here is this constellation carousel. Oop, I gotta figure out how to get there without going through the fountains. I've never seen a carousel like this before. It doesn't just go in circles, it lights up. It honestly is such a big park. I understand in LA why we can't have something like this. We just don't have the space for it. Nothing like that exists in the middle of LA. But boy, I mean, the fact that, first off, this is just one of many parks at Universal. We have Universal. We have, I'll flip it to me for a second. We have Universal. We have Islands of Adventure. We have this Epic Universe, all of these different Universal worlds that are all right here. It really does make our Universal Hollywood look so small. Now, there are aspects of that I like, right? That's like our family studio, if you will, and it feels very homey, but yeah, this park is massive. Here's our constellation carousel. At night, it lights up so beautifully. You know, I will tell you, I thought it was going to be a lot more crowded today. Yesterday, I got to come as well, and yesterday was only like media and some other people, like, for example, me, and people who work at Universal. It was like a special day like that, so it was even emptier than this. I assumed today was going to be so crowded, but it kind of feels slower than I expected. I hope that's not any kind of indication of something. I think, how do you guys feel about starting at Mario? Should we start and go through that portal? It is really cool. So I did all of this last night. They had a big welcome party and a welcome event last night where there were a couple of thousand people here for the actual party. We got to, first off, come in the park. They had all the like food and all the shops and stuff were open. All the food and drink was free, which was really nice. And then we all had time to just go in the different portals and ride the rides. The Mario world is very cool. The part of it looks just like our Hollywood Mario, but it also has a Donkey Kong area. So here's the portal. I feel like I also just want to give you guys a chance to look at this. It's so cool. And I would say that this Mario portal, maybe it's just because of the escalator, but it feels more than some of the others, like you're going into another world. Also, I have a feeling that some of you guys are here for the Dark Universe. We will do the Dark Universe, but I am waiting until it's actually dark because I think that that's the best way to do it, honestly. And look at that, we're literally in an entirely different world now. New music, new views. Right? Isn't this absolutely nuts? Some of this, I mean, I could just sit here and watch this all day. And how do you, look at all the detail. You've got like the clouds up there. You've got our question marks, all our little Yoshis going by. I see Koopa Troopas, shells. God, just so cool. Of course, we got Bowser's Castle over there. I think, I didn't actually do it myself, but I think that there are power-up bands that you can get that let you interact with the different question marks and all the different aspects around here. Oh yeah. Some of this I didn't even get a chance to look at last night.
It does break off the beat. It's the same way in the game.
All right, just got an insider tip from watching that these work off the beat. If you do them at even times, you'll get it. So there's a note for all of you for the future. Not sure what this is. Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What is, do you mind if your live streams?
Okay. So typically what this is, how is that? There's going to be a Goomba. So typically there's going to be a Goomba up here, and when the game starts, you're typically just going to be rotating this just to try to get him to fall off to earn a key, pretty much. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Thank you so
course.
much.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay?
You too. See if I can pin this back. That's kind of cool. I didn't think about doing that. I should be handing the mic over more often, huh? What else? So much of this music is just so nostalgic too. I can't tell you how many hours I sat in the living room, or in the basement. We had it in the basement, but in the basement just playing so much Super Nintendo. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like for the opening day of a park, you wouldn't expect that wait lines would be only 5 minutes. But here we are. Here's our leaderboard. Do any of you guys have plans to come to the Epic Universe? I really can't imagine that these 5-minute wait times are gonna last. There's just no way. But I'm shocked too that on opening day, this is what it is. I would never have expected. Oh, here's a view from the other side. Yeah, it really has not been packed at all. I was joking yesterday how much I was enjoying it being quiet because I thought today was just gonna be a total madhouse, but it hasn't been that way at all. Mental plans are good. In the meantime, you can live vicariously through me. I know already because I'm leaving tomorrow morning, and I know one of my big regrets is going to be that I didn't try nearly enough of the food here. I think the only things I've had are the burger from Das Steakhouse yesterday in the Dark Universe. That was so good. And then today I just had they had a cute name for it, but like a rigatoni meatballs in the Celestial area in Pizza the Moon, I think it was called. Every store also has such good merch, which is a good reminder that I've got some souvenirs to buy today. If you guys see anything that a 5-year-old boy, a 9-year-old girl, and a 44-year-old woman would like from Universal, let me know. I would love to come to Salt Lake one day. Put together an event, a screening, a panel. Oh my God, these are so cute. I'm actually pretty obsessed with this. I'm gonna have to think about this one. $32 in case anyone was wondering. Hi John, how are you? Welcome to the party. I think Mario might have one of the coolest stores of all the stores I've seen here. Of course, we'll keep going through them all, but it's big, it's got a variety of merch, and the store itself looks really cool. Let's see. A Dracula plushie for everybody. I will say, I think that it's hard while I'm here at Universal Florida not to make comparisons to Universal Hollywood. But I think when it really comes down to it, like, they're two totally different animals. Universal Hollywood, it is kind of the small family studio. It is where the movies get made. There is a magic to it that you can't recreate here because this was built as something different. But on the other side here, you're gonna get the rides. You're gonna get things that are so much bigger, and that makes it special for a whole different reason. I haven't been here honestly in like well over a decade, and being back, it really is just, it's a magic that I couldn't have known I was gonna feel before I got here. Let's see, and the wait time for Yoshi's Adventure, 5 minutes. See, isn't that crazy? Or maybe there's just so much to do here that it'll never be that much of a line. I'm honestly not, I feel like it must grow. I'll tell you right now. So we will go to the dark universe, but I'm gonna wait until it's dark to go. Oh, here's another store, the One Up Factory. I'm gonna wait till it's dark to go to the dark universe. But like the Monsters Unchained line, you can tell they're preparing for like a 3-hour wait there. And I think I heard that the Ministry of Magic, one of those rides, had something upwards of 5 hours, which I'm not sure you could pay me to wait in a line that long. But they're definitely preparing for longer lines. I took a lot of videos. I can post a fun compilation. Oh my God, I love this hat. I took a ton of videos of just the empty queues where you could tell that they were preparing for giant lines, but today is not the day. Maybe you're right that over the weekend it's gonna gear up. This honestly looks like the most comfortable night shirt to me. I wonder if Universal, I mean, I know that they're building Universal, like a Texas Universal right now. I wonder if Universal would ever have like a satellite campus out by Disney somewhere where they could build bigger. Because I have the deepest of dreams that we'll get a dark universe out in Hollywood, but we don't have space for it right now. We don't have, I wouldn't want to do it at the expense of like tearing down all of the sound stages, because that movie history at Universal in Hollywood is part of what makes it so special. Universal in Hollywood, without the actual sound stages and the sets and the movie history, it's not really Universal anymore, and it's not the part of like the community and the trip that makes it so special. So I wouldn't want to build a dark universe there at the expense of the movies, but it's my dream that we get something like that. Let me flip this around for Donkey Kong Country. Ryan, so there is a Universal that's being built in, I want to say Frisco, but the bad news for you is that it's aimed at like much younger children. It's not going to be the type of Universal that's here. Oh, thank you so much, John. That's so kind of you. I will say, Christian, I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan. As much as I love horror and some sci-fi, I'm not the biggest fantasy person. Some of it loses me. Or maybe it's just on a case-by-case basis. So I'm not gonna vote for. Oh, I'll give you guys watch this. So I'm not gonna vote for a Lord of the Rings epic universe. First and foremost, I'm voting for an expansion of the Dark Universe here, and I did hear that there may be extra land, so it could be possible. The second thing, oh my God, some of these are even going by empty. That's so nuts. The second thing that I'm actually, if I was going to vote for another world, I think a really cool world would be an old Hollywood time travel world. So imagine you walk through the portal. The portal is all like black and white. Suddenly you're in this old black and white golden age of Hollywood world. And I don't know, I still have some workshopping to do on the rides and themes and activities, but I feel like it could be really cool. I also am not huge on Star Wars and Star Trek. I've seen a couple of the Star Wars movies. I respect them. I know their place in history. But I'm not quite sure those are for me. I appreciate that we've got a celestial park here, so that's almost like space and the stars without having to be Star Wars. I went on this Donkey Kong ride last night, and it is really cool. There are all of these times where it looks like the track just ends and that you're like leaping from one part of the track to the other. It's a little bit like freaky when you're on it. Minecart Madness, that's the coaster that it is. It's a little freaky when you're on it, but it's really cool. And otherwise, I thought the coaster was really fun, but as a heads up, it will really rattle you from side to side. So by the end, my rib cage was like a little sore. And here, I cannot believe it. Another 5-minute wait time. Oh my God, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I was just watching that. Like literally earlier this week. I do plan to make a video about it actually very soon. One of the things that I don't think gets talked about so much with Frankenstein meets the Wolfman is that it is one of the first, I think it's actually the first ever cinematic universe in the way that we sort of know these separate cinematic worlds to be blended these days, whether that's crossover movies like DC and Marvel, but also like Alien versus Predator and Freddy versus Jason and all of that. I mean, that started with Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Those are two different monsters from two completely different universes blended together. And once that one did so well, that did start Universal down a whole train of like House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, even Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, all of those different like crossover movies that I'm really learning to love the more I watch them. Yeah, Battle at the Ministry. You know, and I didn't even get a chance to do that one last night. I spent probably the least time in Harry Potter. It was so tough to try to make it to every single world. And I was very fortunate to do what's called the Celestial Carpet here, which is where I was like interviewed on the carpet and talking about kind of how special the night was and what like Uncle Carl Lemley would think. But it did mean that I had a little less time to just explore. I do think a Jurassic World, I was wondering about that. If you actually made an entire Jurassic Park land, I do think that would be really cool. And there's so much to build off of that. I was trying to figure out if any other theme parks have kind of covered that prehistoric time in the same way, and I don't think so. Oh my my God, I would love if they brought Back to the Future back. I love that ride. You know what else I loved? I used to love the E.T. ride back in the day. That was Funky's Flying by the way. E.T. used to be so fun. You could never say my name right, which is fine. Not upset about it. But the ride was very, very cool. It is such a shame that they took stage 28 down. I still think about that all the time. I think it's sort of just the fact that it made it so long that it stood for, gosh, 90 years and then got torn down. Sometimes I almost feel like if something makes it long enough, it'll make it forever. I remember my Aunt Carla, who had danced on that very stage in Phantom of the Opera in 1925. She lived to be 104 years old, and she died just a few months before they tore the stage down. And I was almost just happy that she wasn't around to see it anymore. I think that was such a big part of who she had been. All right, I think we will bounce out of Mario and maybe head to a different world. I do wonder, like, I remember Universal Hollywood used to have a Monsters Haunted House. Of course, they had a Universal I'll show me instead of these boring gray stairs. They had the Monster Haunted House back in the day. I forget right now what it was called. They, of course, honored the Universal Monsters at Horror Nights this year. They have done things in history to honor the monsters, and I feel like, particularly now that we have this dark universe, I can't tell you how many monster-themed shirts I've seen around and people with the monster makeup on. It really feels to me like, people are going to connect with the monsters and love them the way that like we all love them. And I think that that could bode really well for getting more monster stuff in Hollywood as well. I wonder, can anyone do this? Oh, I would totally talk about The Mummy someday. I do. Those are actually kind of modern remakes that I really enjoy. I appreciate that, especially that first Mummy movie in '99 with Brendan Fraser. It wasn't trying to be a recreation of the 1932 exactly. It's not an exact replica, but it found its own identity and is still a really good movie with like a great story, a great plot. It's entertaining. I really just want to like retcon that the other more recent Mummy even existed. But yeah, I would love to talk about the '99 Mummy in one of my videos. As for a Lon Chaney ride at Universal, I will say that he is featured 2 times in, here's how we exit. You get to come up the cool escalators in the green tube, and then you just leave downstairs that are like, you know, fine, but not like the other. So the Monsters Unchained ride in the Dark Universe, it's a crossover of all of the monsters. So when you go into the line, you sort of learn about Victoria Frankenstein, who's the great-great-granddaughter of Henry Frankenstein, and she is trying to like further her family's legacy and continue the work that her dad did, or her great-grandfather did. And I can tell you that I feel a great connection and a great kinship to that, seeing as, you know, that's kind of the very thing that I'm trying to do with Uncle Carl and his work. when you actually then go on the ride, she's working with Igor, who I will say reminded me much more of like Renfield than necessarily Igor. I thought it was a little more Renfield coded. Now we're out, by the way. And her whole thing is she's trying to bring all of the monsters to life. So in the Monsters Unchained ride, you will see Lon Chaney 2 times, both as the Hunchback and as the Phantom. You will see, who else? I mean, you see Dracula, the monster, you see the creature from the Black Lagoon. They're all in the ride. Now, I was nerding out a little bit. What I will say is that the Hunchback and the Phantom, those are Lon Chaney, no question. Dracula, not Bela Lugosi. I didn't even necessarily recognize that Dracula, but it's Dracula nonetheless. The Frankenstein monster, I would say like a 50-50 between the Boris Karloff monster and the Glenn Strange monster, maybe a little more Glenn Strange. My suspicion is that this has to do with like copyright and image, you know, the likeness of. Sorry, I'm trying to also figure out which way I should go. We'll go that way. And the creature looked just like the creature. I think, again, there's like no face in there. That's just, you know, universal. I will say the one thing, I get lost in this park so much, I think because it's a little circular. But I was nerding out a little bit trying to figure out who was who. So we have a Lon Chaney ride, technically, here. The Monsters Unchained ride is definitely my favorite that I've been on. It's a good blend of kind of exciting, but also just interesting. There's so much to look at. There's so much to, like, you can ride it more than once and see something a little different every time. Okay, I think next we're gonna go to the Isle of Berk, which is from How to Train Your Dragon. I have not seen this movie, but honestly, the land is so good that I am now inspired to see this movie. And I know they're coming out with a live action one too, that I think is probably gonna be really cool. Flaming mushrooms. I'm curious when you're saying like you get worried about the too good to be true things in life. Is it that you worry that the park itself isn't that good, or you just worry that people won't appreciate it and will lose it over time or something? It would definitely break my heart if we lost the dark universe as we have it now, if they change it to a new universe. Like I said, like last night, the dark universe area was, I would say, more crowded at times than all the other portals that I went through, and people really seem to be enjoying it. I feel like some of these, you'll actually see when we go in here to the Isle of Berk, you'll see that like some of the lands, you're inside, or at least to me it feels like you're inside as more of an observer. But in the dark universe, I felt like I was really experiencing it. And that felt just, I don't know, very different and cool to me. There's probably an aspect too of like, it feels like you're dropped back into those sets from the 1930s. It feels like maybe I'm in, you know, one of the towns that Carl grew up in Germany. Really cool. No, so I do not live in Orlando, but they did fly me out. Oh, this is Berk. They did fly me out for the opening, which was like so very amazing of them. There's really no greater honor that I could imagine than being here for this opening. It feels like I get to be a part of history and kind of building on the work that Uncle Carl himself did. So I'm very honored to represent Uncle Carl here. And the movie Lisa Frankenstein, I loved. I love really campy horror. I love horror comedy. It feels very like in the just horror comedy and campy horror in general. very much in the vein of James Whale, who I love. And so yeah, I loved Lisa Frankenstein. I wish it did a little better. Yeah, I hope people come, Flaming Mushrooms. I hope that people really make the effort to get out here and see it all. I mean, like, look at this. And we're probably, I don't know, 100 feet from Mario. How did they do this? The music adds such great, like, ambiance to it all. Clive Barker's film on James Whale. Is that that's not of Gods and Monsters, is it? Young Frankenstein. I used to love that movie when I was a kid. It's been a few years since my last watch. But yes, I love it so very much. My friends and I used to quote it all the time. This is so cute.
Everyone's dessert tonight is this cake off.
Oh my gosh, this hat. $26 for the record. That might be one of my purchases tonight. Not for me, but one of the souvenirs that I have to buy. I have 3 souvenirs I'm on the hunt for. I'm the best, worst gift giver in the world because I want to give everyone the perfect gift. And so I think about it for so long and then I get a little overwhelmed at thinking so hard, and then all the time has passed and I don't get a gift at all. But I'm gonna do my best. I'm only here once for now. All right, so here's the Spitfire grill. Oh, we'll definitely get to the Dark Universe merch when we are in the Dark Universe. They have a really great store, Dr. Pretorius's something or other, with some really great merch. Here's where you can eat, the Hooligan Harbor Hideaway. So when I went on the How to Train Your Dragon coaster last night, I forget its exact name, it does this really cool thing that it seems like a lot of the coasters are doing these days, which is at one point you're going up a hill and you reverse back down the hill and then you like launch and go up the hill again. But it's a little scary the first time it happens if you don't know that it's happening. I almost wondered if the ride was breaking. Hi, Eric. I also used to hear the rumors that the Phantom Stage was haunted. Oh my gosh. I never experienced a haunting there. I did get to go on that soundstage. Yes, the Curse of the Werewolf ride also goes backward at one point. They're, I will say, very different coasters. One of them, so on the How to Train Your Dragon coaster, it feels like a traditional coaster when you're sitting down and going. It's one of those ones that kind of launches you right from the start. There are some really fun little details that I assume are from the movies and characters. But yeah, at one point you're going to go up a hill. It feels like you don't make it all the way up. You reverse back down, and then there were like eggs that were going to hatch or something, and then it's like, oh no, we got to get out of here, and you zoom away. Same thing with the werewolf one. The werewolf ride is the Curse of the Werewolf is a lot shorter, but the same thing where you're going up a hill, it feels like you don't make it all the way, and then you go back up again. So it seems to be a new feature that's being incorporated. I can imagine this ride's going to be really popular on those hot, sunny days. And let me tell you, it is so hot and muggy here. Today was much cooler than yesterday, though. Yesterday was one of the hottest days for this time of year on record. Today I am here by myself, with the exception of all my new Universal friends and family that I got to meet while I was here. But right now, while I'm going around the park, yes, I'm on my own. But sometimes I don't mind being on my own because I can really wander as I please. And I'm pretty good at making friends and talking to people. I love going through a single rider line and sitting next to what I would consider to be a new friend. And AM Echo Sky, yes, I have been to the Dark Universe. I've been now 2 times during the day and once at night. I'm gonna wait today until it gets a little darker, which I think would be about an hour, and then I'll take you guys back there. The untrainable dragon.
The untrainable dragon.
The
Chaotic. Untrainable even.
Causing you too much trouble?
Oh yeah. And if it's not the untrainable dragon giving us trouble, it's the baby Broncos. They get wound up all the time.
Thank you.
Have fun, Mikey.
Can you guys hear him when he does that, or do I need to pass the mic in his direction? Look at these little dragon tails. Yes, if you guys see me, come say hi. Oh, I would love to make friends out here. And I feel like some of you I really know through when you guys comment on my videos and when you join these live streams. And it feels like I really get to know you guys. So yes, if you see me out here, come say hello. I feel like there's such an energy right now because it's the opening. I'm sure that every staff member here has been preparing for probably months, right, for their role and their job and the piece that they're doing here. And so I think they're really excited now to get to do it for everyone. So yeah, everyone's been so nice. They've been so accommodating. Just so much detail here. Hello, Manny Uncanny. John in Massachusetts. I haven't been there in a few years, actually, maybe 3 or 4 years, but I love, 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 love the East Coast. It's so beautiful over there. I lived in Connecticut until I was about 13. My mom was a bit of a rebel, and she moved me away from California. So I lived in Connecticut for quite a while and then came back home. I don't work for Universal in any official capacity in that way, but I do work with Universal sometimes and always welcome the opportunity to work with them. So this is the fire drill. This is that water ride that we just saw on the other side. Oh, I love, 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 love Wes Craven. I love him so much. Scream is probably my favorite modern horror movie, I mean, of all time. And I guess I'm saying modern like anytime post Lemley era. I don't even know what this is. Should we go check inside? Let's go see what it is. I want to go to Salem. I've never actually been to Salem, and I would love to go. Part of me wants to go in October when I get to experience. Hi, is this, food? Amazing, thank you. I will go look at the menu. Part of me wants to go in October when I'm sure they're doing like a lot of festivities and whatnot. But I also know that it gets so crowded and crazy, so maybe I would go another time of year. So see, you can see here, they're preparing for such long lines, which maybe during the summer, maybe especially on hot days when people are trying to beat the heat during lunchtime, maybe it really will fill up. I don't know if you guys can read that. Salads, meatballs, salmon, turkey wings. Hi. How are you? Good. How's the first day been?
Great.
Good. Busy or not busy? Medium? Do you think it will be busier this weekend? Yes.
For sure.
I hope so. Thank you. Wow, the Isle of Berk, I think they did an especially beautiful job. Wow. I've never been to the Witch's Dungeon Classic Monster Museum in Connecticut. Where in Connecticut is that? I did get to visit for free this weekend. I guess you could say, or this week. I guess you could say it's because of my family, but also because I got to be a part of the opening celebrations, and I'm working on some other things that at some point I should be able to tell you about. Thank you. So that's a little bit of how I got here this week. They're doing a Hocus Pocus tour and ride there in October. Is that Salem? Oh, I would love to go to that. My favorite ride here by far is Monsters Unchained, which is a little bit the nostalgia aspect of it and loving those monsters so much, but also because it's such a cool ride. It uses the technology in such cool ways. For anybody who has been to the on the Harry Potter like Wizarding World in Hollywood, what do you call the Forbidden Journey? For anyone who's been on the Forbidden Journey, Monsters Unchained is similar in that you sit in the same thing and fly around, but it's way less screens. It's way more that's like right in front of you, so it looks really cool. All right. I've totally heard of Cortland Hole before. I must have. I've never been to the museum, but I know now that I have heard of the museum. I've done whole videos on the Werewolf of London and how in some ways he's the original werewolf, but Lon Chaney Jr.'s really kind of outshone him and took the werewolf crown. Hi. Which I think, if memory serves me correct, that went back a little bit to Henry Hole himself, I think, didn't want to be too covered in makeup. And so his werewolf is a little less impressive than Lon Chaney Jr.'s. But Lon Chaney Jr., fun fact, didn't really love getting in that werewolf makeup. And I think they used yak's hair that Jack Pierce would like singe with an iron on his face. And sometimes Jack Pierce would actually get his face. There's so many cute hats here. Anyway, and Lon Chaney Jr. thought that he was doing it on purpose. I'm not sure if he was or wasn't, but anyway, all of that to say, we'll talk more about werewolves when we get to the Dark Universe, but for some reason I can't help myself. Is it really a Universal in England coming up? I don't think I've heard this before. That's so cool if that's true. I would go out for sure. I went a few years ago to this really cute theme park in England called Paulton's Park, I think it was called, and they had a whole little Peppa Pig world there, and it was honestly the cutest theme park. That was probably one of the theme parks that made me want to be more of a theme park tourist and experience parks that aren't even, Universal parks outside of the United States or just wherever I'm living. This dragon ride is so cool because it literally looks like a dragon or like little dragons flying.
Come in.
You're not the word that you said you are, Mr. Henry L., but I don't think I can put the phone horizontal. I tried to do that earlier, and it told me that it was locked in place, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm not sure what I could do. I have not read Robert Shaw's bio. I think that should be a book on my list. Right now I'm reading Paul Kohner's biography, the one written by his brother Fritz Kohner. It's always so weird to hear the name Robert Shaw or see it, because obviously I know he's from Jaws, but that was also the name of my mom's second husband. So it's always such a jump scare to see that. I, during COVID, thought about setting up a Twitch channel. I think I didn't because I already have so many channels. I have a YouTube, I have an Instagram, I have a TikTok, I have a Facebook. How am I supposed to manage it all? If somebody can give me that answer, I will start a Twitch channel. I also have to experience life in the real world too. That's the other thing I'm trying to balance. Bye, Manny Uncanny. I think my MySpace has been lost in the depths of the internet. I did have one, and you bet I had a very seriously curated top 8. I had music on my page. I do have Facebook. Everybody can add me on Facebook. It's actually one of the places that I update the most in terms of day-to-day photos and adventures that I go on. Facebook is a great place to find me. This is that coaster I was talking about. And actually in the back right here, that yellow and green, that is called Stardust Racers, and that ride is absolutely insane. I love coasters. I'm not great with things that spin in circles. And that one doesn't spin in circles, but it did make me a little queasy at the end. But it's so cool. These two trains run like side by side, sometimes parallel, sometimes intersecting. And it's absolutely beautiful. And there's our dragon coaster again. Is anybody who's watching this actually watching it in the vertical format, or is everybody just watching it horizontal and the frame is like broken up? Tell me what you're doing. All right, we're walking back out the portal. I won't let you guys miss this opportunity. Look, even the chandelier. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that some people are actually watching it vertical. That makes me feel better. Thanks, guys. For future streams, do you guys prefer vertical or horizontal? I heard, I'm going to get maybe a little nerdy for a moment, but I heard that this year people watching YouTube on TVs has like outpaced or outnumbered people watching YouTube on any other format, which is so nuts to me. And I guess that means that people really aren't watching TV as much anymore either. But anyway, cool to hear that you're watching me on TV. I like being on TV. I'll do some horizontal in the future. I'll just try to mix it up and make everybody happy as much as I can. I am seeing quite a few horizontals. Oh, let's stand here. This is a really cool spot to watch the Stardust Racer. Right. Oh yeah, everybody knows the spot. Right here. I'm so excited for Scream 7. I did, a couple months ago, I did some live streams with Haunted Hippie and Sledgehammer Horror, and we talked about our predictions for Scream 7 and just kind of talked about how we felt about all of the other Screams. Please start a petition so I'm in Scream 8. I accept. I'll do it for Sagman. Oh yeah, maybe I'll read Dwight Fry's biography next. I am looking for my post-Paul Kohner book. That's the shot. You know, I just felt like going live today, I think because it felt like I was here for this really kind of historic day, and I'm getting to see a park that so many people haven't seen yet. And I'm here on my own, and so it just felt like a cool time where I can share this like new and exciting thing with all of you. And now I'm not here alone after all. Now I'm here with all of you guys. Wait, was the sound of the coaster not good? I'm sorry, I didn't know. Yeah, so my great uncle, Carl Lemley, my great great uncle, Carl Lemley, but everybody just called him Uncle Carl. He was the founder of Universal Studios, which was all the way back in 1912. Weirdly enough, in Fort Lee, New Jersey, of all places. That's where Universal started. Oh, here you can see a little more of the Stardust coaster over there. Just learned I can zoom. So he started Universal in Fort Lee, New Jersey in 1912. In 1915, he moved it to Universal City, where it is today. And then, of course, Universals around the world have been expanding ever since. And today, for me, I have my channel, Universally Me, that you're all watching me on right now, which is sort of a way to further my Uncle Carl's work and his legacy, and kind of a way to get to connect with him, too. I will say, you know, for me, everything I learn about Carl Lemley makes me love him more. The thing he's most famous for is starting Universal, which in itself is amazing. I mean, look at everything that we're seeing today. But a lot of people don't know, sorry, my hair's going crazy, that also he won a Supreme Court case against Thomas Edison. He invented the concept of the movie star, and he invented the movie studio tour. He was the first to do it. He also saved hundreds of refugees in the 1930s by bringing them to the United States. He set them up with homes and jobs, a lot of them at Universal. So he's this like incredible man. We should all hope to do 1/10 of what he has done. But most people have never heard his name. So that's a big part of why I have my channel. That's why I love Universal so much and why I'm excited to share all of this stuff here with you today. Okay, we are now outside the Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. And thank you guys so much for all of the kind words you're saying. Yeah, I have met Bela Jr. I've met Sarah Karloff before. I've actually, with Sarah in particular, I've really been wanting to get back in touch with her again. I feel like she and I keep sort of circling each other with people and events, but we're not usually in the same room, but hopefully we are soon. Oh, I love that he had such a big impact on you. I think that that's really amazing. And yes, I feel grateful to meet so many amazing people, sometimes by luck, sometimes by work, sometimes by proximity. Now, this Ministry of Magic, this was definitely one of the big surprises to me last night. I have seen most of the Harry Potter films, but I haven't seen them many times. So I didn't really come into this with a strong or sure idea of what it was going to be, but look at this. And I believe I identify most closely with Ravenclaw, which I think speaks to my sort of attachment or connection to research and knowledge and those kinds of aspects. Sometimes, usually when I take tests that say which house, most often I get Ravenclaw, and every now and again I get a surprise Gryffindor thrown in. What house are all of you?
Yeah, but if you look at a different weather app, there's no chance. You're looking at the wrong app.
Ooh, I like the Munsters a little more than the Addams Family. I couldn't necessarily tell you why. It might just be that the Munsters got me first, and I watched more of the Munsters as a little kid. I also love Yvonne DiCarlo so much. And I probably didn't realize it when I was younger, but it's so much easier to draw a one-to-one comparison between the Munsters and our Universal monsters than it is to like the Addams Family. But I mean, Christina Ricci, when I was a little kid, she was just, I mean, she was in everything that I loved. All of her old, the Addams Family and Sleepy Hollow, and even Now and Then, like, yes, horror or kind of scary things, but also not. Guys, how amazing is this? If I just pulled this up and told you we were in like France and I didn't give you guys any additional context, wouldn't you kind of believe me? I have not met Butch Patrick. He's another one where sometimes, or you know what? I may have met Butch Patrick. I kind of think that I met him a long time ago with my Aunt Carla. But in the last decade, he's another one where I go to a lot of places that he is, or we'll be at the same place on different weeks, but we don't cross paths too often. I think some of you, for any of you guys that are paid members, maybe 6 months ago now, I put up a video when I toured Tom Devlin's museum in Nevada. And strangely enough, Butch Patrick was there like a week before I was there. I have not met Iger or Eisner. I have met Ron Meyer and Donna Langley and the Universal equivalents. Right? I really feel like I'm in France. I just need to like pull up a chair right here, have a glass of wine. Bonjour, merci. The only thing I'll say is sometimes I look at this walkway section in here. I feel like there's a lot of empty space. I'm curious if they plan to fill it or if they just think the people will, which might be the case. Where did you think you saw Dracula in front of me? I must be paying no attention. I missed Dracula. Why would Dracula be in the Ministry of Magic? It must be a... Oh my gosh, it is Dracula, yes. But I think it might just be a park patron. Hi, Dracula.
Hello, my friend. Sweet nightmares. I will rule all this land, and I would find the Phantom of the Opera troll moves the true monster.
Good eye. Very, very good eye. Yeah, that was him. That's so funny. I wonder if he knows that this is not the Dark Universe. Do you think they're all around the park all the time? I assumed everybody stayed in their own world. Or do you think that was really just a park patron and not an actual character actor? That's gonna haunt me, for lack of a better word. So now this is the longest ride time that I've seen the entire time, sorry. Right now, 120 minutes. And I have seen or I've heard that it can be as long as 5 hours was its longest. I think that was during the previews. Tour en flou. I wouldn't be able to tell you if this has like a real Harry Potter connection. I mean, I guess probably because these are not earthly places, but I do feel like these globes with the ribbon around them harken back to the old Universal logo. Like, just picture instead of the ribbon, it's a plane. We could call that an Easter egg even if it's not. And now, oh, hi, I will take you into the story. Let's look at some of the Harry Potter merch. Could you even imagine a crossover where the monsters suddenly interact with the Harry Potter characters? Like, what would that even look like? Or yeah, Luigi meets the Wolfman. Weirdly, that almost feels more practical because I probably put Mario and Luigi in the same category as like it's like a Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes, and they did have sort of crossovers back in the day. Wow, they got some really cool stuff here.
Oh my god.
Oh, a Tim Burton Bride? Yeah, I could get into that. I just watched Edward Scissorhands not too long ago. It's such a just incredible classic. I feel like this would be a good spot to get one of my souvenirs, but I don't know what. Souvenir shopping is so difficult. I know there are worse problems to have in the world, but I feel like I've got 2 hours and 19 minutes to find everything I need. This is where you can wave the wands and you know, I could be wrong, but I think that's one of the very first real actors that I have seen somewhere in the park. I feel like every other time it's been like a cartoon version or just purely a character without a face or, you know, a non-human one. Stroller parking. You should watch The Hunchback of Notre Dame all the way through. I will give you that it's a long movie. But if you have the opportunity to watch it, it is beautiful. And it's such a marvel of like the sets and the sound stages are so big. They were so just monumental, especially for their time. Yeah, so Abbott and Costello meets the Monsters is for sure one of the earliest crossovers, but the very first is Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, which I think is all the way back in like 1943, I want to say. The Abbott and Costellos come a little bit later. Actually, that would be a really fun crossover to do in the park. Earlier, I was mentioning, like, if there was another portal in the park, I actually think it would be really cool to do like a golden age of Hollywood portal. So you walk through the portal and maybe it's some sort of crazy black and white one, and then you're transported to like the 1920s or 1930s, and it could be all about the actual movie making journey and those old classic movies, silent films, and the transition to sound. I think there are really cool ways that you could incorporate that into rides and into attractions. And if you did, I know Abbott and Costello are technically a little bit later, but I think that you could incorporate Abbott and Costello into the park or a version of them, and they could go do crossovers in the Dark Universe world. I think that would actually be really cool. If somebody knows who to call to get me on the creative team over here at Universal, I'll accept the job. I got great ideas. I also have a really good idea for a water ride that should be added to the Dark Universe for the creature from the Black Lagoon. I've already started not sketching out my ideas in picture form, but sketching out my ideas in word form. Disney's animated Hunchback is really fun. It's been a bit since I watched it, but it is a good movie. I will say also, when I just watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame, I got to see it on the big screen at the Old Town Music Hall. They had an organist there, I think his name was Robert York, who was playing live. He was actually improvising a lot of the organ to the movie, but it was so good. Here's our portal one more time. So, I mean, it's one thing to, yes, you should watch The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but if you get a chance to watch it on a big screen, you should take that chance. Right, a creature ride would be so good. And listen, it's early May and it is so hot and humid here. And so I know that they already have some water rides in some areas, but I think that there's no limit to the number of water rides that you could or should have so that you can help your guests cool off, because it's a little cray. Okay, wait, where have we been so far? We have been to the Celestial Park. We looked at the carousel. We saw the Stardust coasters. We've been to the Wizarding World. We've been to Mario. We've been to Isle of Berk. Is the dark universe all that's left? I thought it was going to get darker earlier, guys. Well, I think we'll start meandering that way anyway. It's going to get dark while we're there, and there's nothing that says we can't walk through more than once. So I think the time has come. I was just reading, just speaking of water rides, on YouTube, I watched this water ride in Germany that's called Chiapas. Has anybody seen that one? I can't remember right now what the park was at, but it was a log ride, but it was so cool. It had parts that go backward and forward. It had some really big drops and small drops. It would even change tracks from time to time. It had really great music. I don't know why, but there was just something about that water ride in particular that made me think that there's so much room to grow, not just in like the log ride space, but just water rides in general. I love Jurassic World out in Universal Studios Hollywood. Oh my God, can you tell the humidity is getting to my hair? But I think there's so much more you can do. When I think of like a Creature from the Black Lagoon water ride, I also think like you could make it almost like a ship similar to Jurassic World, or just a larger version of a log ride, Pirates of the Caribbean, something like that, and then create a whole world. You've got your Amazon. I bet that they could come up with a cool way to do like an underwater world. Tell me that wouldn't be like the coolest new ride at Universal. So Universal execs, creative design team, if you're watching, I'm right here. I'm outside, come find me. All right, we're almost at the dark universe. And yes, I will show you the entire Frankenstein hoodie, and I'll show you the price tag too if you want. I can, when we're in the stores, anything you want me to pick up, I'll pick up. I'm not sure if we're on a delay, but if I don't get to it right away, I'll get to it eventually. Oh, a Bermuda Triangle theme. I mean, that's interesting. All right, so here's the outside of our portal. It is getting darker, actually. I can tell. I don't know why I said that like I'm some sort of scientist or something. The sun's going down. It's almost sunset. All right, and let's walk inside the portal. I just realized that looks like a full moon right there. So right when we walk in, we have these graves. I will say, I feel like there's a little bit of a missed opportunity there. There are so many names and references that they could have put on all of these graves, and they didn't put any. It definitely feels like a missed opportunity. Over here, in these coffins, it's impossible not to get inside and take a picture crossing your arms. I already did it twice. Oh, that's our Igor over there.
I know. You got to know better. I need.
Can you guys hear him at all?
Okay, so you got a little crispy right here. You okay? All right, next time, 5 minutes. Werewolf first. Best you can do. Yes, in town to the left. Okay, Bestie, I'm so proud of you. You made it onto the, what is it again? The bulletin that we put on the telly. Yeah, the bulletin on the telly. Yes, I'm so proud of you for getting there and helping Igor spread the news that the man was happening.
I'm dying at Tommy Wiseau vibes. In the Monsters Unchained ride, he's actually really fun. I kept kind of saying he was like very Renfield coded to me. If you would have just like shown me his talking and his mannerisms, I would have thought Renfield before Igor a little bit. But in the Monsters Unchained, he's hilarious. I realized I'd never looked at these before. Duskborough, something. Some of these, if you guys know a reference that I don't, especially as we get to the 40s, the 50s, I don't always know everything. So let me know if you see a reference that I don't get. So I went to Area 15 just maybe a couple months ago. I didn't go into any of the experiences, but I walked around the whole space. I am very much hoping to go back once the new Monsters exhibit opens up there. Very much. All right, and in here, this is where you can get your monster makeup done to look like one of the Universal monsters. Hi. Is anybody getting their makeup done right now? Has it been popular? Very popular, okay. Is it true you can't drink alcohol after you get your makeup done? So that's a warning to everybody. Thank you. They can't ID, right?
They cannot legally card.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Thank you. Yeah, so I love this monster makeup. To me, it feels very much like an homage to Jack Pierce, really, right? The man who created the monsters, who often dress just like this. I think these outfits are a reference more to Pretorius, and that's what they would say to Dr. Pretorius, but this reminds me of Jack Pierce and how he would get together, how he made all of the monsters. So anyway, it's great. I have seen people around the park with monster makeup on, but it is true that you cannot get alcohol after you get your makeup done. because it changes your face and they can't properly ID you. All right. Purveyors of antiques and other weaknesses, Dr. Septimus Pretorius, scientific oddities for sale, see the homunculi. All right, let me know when you see the shirt that you want to see. A Jack Pierce was legendary. I almost want to bring one of these beakers home. Beautifully dramatic. I think I really am gonna bring this mug and this mug home. Pain in the neck. What do these ones say? You make me feel alive. And beautifully dramatic. I truly think those are coming home with me. All right, we've got a Wolfman shirt. I should have dressed up. I should have been like a vampire today or gone full bride. That was really a missed opportunity. Oh my gosh, also, I love this jacket so much. Look at it. This is a $95 jacket though. And I also think this shirt is really cool. You watched an interview with Elsa Lanchester? The Dracula costume. I haven't seen a Frankenstein shirt yet. Here we've got more Dracula. Ah, okay, I'll get to the other gift shop then. I didn't realize it wasn't this one. This sweatshirt is so cool too with the little, the slashes in it. I keep saying, I think that this, I don't even know if this is like a hat, a mask, is so cool, but this is hard plastic. There's no way that I could pack it and bring it home. So that's such a bummer. I think in the summer, these fans are gonna do gangbusters. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. That is so cool. It's like bride hair. That's also very tempting. Look at these little creature feet. It's a creature feature. Haha, get it? Creature feature. I think it is a werewolf hat, but why didn't they think about all of the people who are going to have to travel with it? It just feels like such an oversight. Oh. Look at this timing. Also, somebody told me that near here somewhere, there's a 428. Oh, right here. This, I've heard, is a Junior Lemley 428. His birthday was April 28th. And he was really the driving force behind those monsters. Also, it's raining just over my head now and nowhere else. So this bell is truly amazing. I'll wait for it when we're further over, but I'm pretty sure that when the bell rings, the Burning Blade Tavern, it gets set on fire, which especially at night is so incredible to see. So I'll take you guys back over. And she said to stay on the path. Pretty sure she said something about death. The bells truly are ominous. And again, I'll walk back around to the front at night, like when it's fully dark. But there are these like beautiful tree shadows that come up here that just are so reminiscent of like that German expressionist vibe that we know from those old monster movies. It truly feels like we're transported right now to the Wolfman's village or Frankenstein's village, right? We could be in any of those. Earlier today, I saw Dr. Jack Griffin right here. He was not particularly kind, but that's okay. He just had a little too much monocaine. Right here is our Dr. Jekyll Apothecary. Oh, I should take you into Das Steakhouse just so you can see it. Hi, thank you. Thank you. This is also so beautiful in here. And they have some amazing portraits. Oh, I agree. That would be a really cool way to incorporate some of the originals. Naming streets, after the original actors like Colin Clive, like Dwight Fry. I mean, of course, the big shots, right? Karloff and Lugosi, Cheney. I'm really happy seeing that 428 is apparently there for Junior. I think that's really